Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. In this video we will be playing the Vassal version of Corsair Leader from Dan Verssen Games. And I'm doing this largely because I'm traveling and it's easy to do this. I have both the Vassal version, which Dan Verssen Games sells, and I also have the board version, the regular version. And I have not played it yet on the channel, but I figured this would be an opportunity to kind of take this game for a spin here on the channel in the Vassal mode, and you can see what these Vassal modules that are sold by Dan Verssen Games kind of look like as opposed to playing it on the tabletop. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll take a look at our campaign here. I've chosen to play the Guadalcanal campaign. As you can see, so this is 1942. We will be playing with the U.S. Marine Corps. It is a skilled campaign, so you have, I believe it's introductory, easy, skilled, and expert. And this would be obviously the third level difficulty. So if you have the physical game, this is all very familiar. These are the cards that you get for the individual campaigns. So this is one of the earlier Leader games, but it does work very much in the same vein as the others. This, I think, is actually the first of the World War II era Leader games. And so you have various target numbers, of course, so we'll pull those out of the deck and put them in here in this target card area. And then you have the stress level for each one. So over here on the eastern end, you'll have stress 1, here in the middle, stress 2, and here in the west, stress 3. Tells us our available aircraft are the F-4F Wildcat, the SPD Dauntless, and the TBF Avenger. All of our replacement pilots will be newbies. We don't have any of the special weapons available. This is early in the war. And then down here you have your campaign duration, short, medium, and long, along with the victory points needed for each evaluation level, as well as the length in terms of days and how many SO points you get, special operations points. If you are not familiar with the Leader series, it's basically the game's currency. It determines what you can do in terms of purchasing special weapons or upgrading your aircraft or pilots and so on and so forth. So I am actually going to elect to play the long campaign, which will be 10 days, and we'll start with 29 SO points. We'll require 43 or more to get a great evaluation. So that's always the goal. Down here, of course, we have our recon and intel tracks. As you go on this recon level are the number of target cards you can draw for each mission or day. So we can have 3 at first, and you always read it to the right. So when this moves here, this would still be 3, and then it would stay 3 until you got here, at which point it would become 4. So that's kind of how that works. And the same thing down here. So when you first start off, Japanese strength is higher, so you'll have that 2 extra bandits, then 1, then no change, and then you'll start dropping sights and ultimately bandits as well. So one of the nice things that you get when you play the Vassal game is it automatically populates your target cards, right? So if we right click here, you can say draw specific cards just to kind of see that all the cards are in here. So you see 17, which is in here, 21, 2, 35, they kind of go in order. So, and all the way down to 29, which is over here. So that's kind of neat. And then the event cards are also populated as well. You have our turn marker, and you have your turns that you can put on here, of course. As far as, your turns inside the tactical display, basically, is what that is for. So selecting your pilots, so you can have all kinds of things up here that you can pull in if you need it, like the player aid, for example. So it tells you your starting aircraft for a long campaign. You get 1 newbie, 2 green, 6 average, 2 skilled, 1 veteran. Then, just the other stuff. This would be all the things that came with the game, like key terms, your pilot skill sheet, how to do a linked campaign, info on bandits and bombers, sight counter info, target card information, and the various weapon counters that you can use. So everything is in here, and if you click it again, it goes away. Same thing with the campaign map. Then you have your chit pull. I'm not going to play with the island operations map, which would be what we would use here as the Marine Corps, which is just this right here. That's kind of an optional thing that I'm not going to use in this. But again, if you click it twice, it goes away. Here's our dogfight sheet. List of destroyed targets you can put in here. Sequence of play, which is also on the board, but you can see it here a little bit larger. And then the steps for doing a dogfight. So I did select my pilots. I didn't go over here to the pilot ready room, but I'll show you that in a moment. So you have this here. If you click pieces, let me expand this down. You can see you can pick your force, whether it's the US Air Force, Navy and Marines, your jets, your aces. It comes with the aces expansion, which is kind of cool. So if you wanted to play with, Bud O'Hare, you could do, or Butch O'Hare rather, I'm sorry, you could do that, as well as all the other aces that came with the aces expansion. As you can see, there's a lot of them, including the famous Pappy Boyington of the Black Sheep Squadron. And then there are also some British aircraft in here as well. So, and then you have the, of course, you have the cards for them as well, or the counters rather. So you select this, and then you have the counters that you'll need actually to pull out to put onto the tactical display when you're actually flying a mission. So we'll talk about the pilot ready room now. So I drew out my pilots already to kind of shorten the span of time here before we actually start playing. So as you can see, I've got one veteran, it's Campbell. So I took 5 F4F Wildcats, 4 SPD Dauntlets, the dive bombers, and then 3 torpedo planes. And I've got my 1 veteran, my 2 skilled, Walker and Casabelli are the skilled guys. Then we've got 6 average here, including Chuck Siegert, average, 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 and average. Then we've got 2 green and 1 newbie. And that's our 12-man squadron, essentially. And again, we can just click this to make that disappear. And then I would need to just kind of pull these out and put them in with the, put them somewhere where I would have them available to use for my missions. And you have space down here at the bottom, or you can put them on the pilot ready room, so that you have everybody. And then when you pull the cards out and put them on the main display, they're there for you. So that is kind of how the setup works. So to begin our mission, we draw a target card. And we'll just see what we got here. So you can see this is a secondary. So let's put that to the side. Let's draw another one. Close air support. It says scramble. So you can see there it says scramble, soft, friendly fire, overkill, 8+, gain +1 victory point. So if we pull up our player aid here for target cards, see close air support, it is target number 4. It takes 6 hits to kill it. Maximum aircraft we can use is 5. It gets 1 sight and 2 bandits at the target, and on the approach 1 sight. It is worth 5 victory points. It does not have any impact on the recon or intel tracks. Now because it does have scramble here, you can see as soon as you draw one of these cards, stop drawing targets. You must select this card as your day's primary mission. If there are secondary targets available, you can attack one of them as a secondary target. So what else do we have? We have soft. Some munitions get a bonus to attack soft targets. Friendly fire. Inflict 1 stress on the attacking pilot for each of his air-to-ground counters expended over target. Then inflict 0 hits or fail to suppress. And overkill. You gain 1 victory point if you inflict the specified number of hits or more. So if we get more than 8 hits, we'll gain 1 victory point. So this will be our target card. And I can put this in here. It only takes 2 to hit it. 2 aircraft can attack it. Now, since I won't need to bring my torpedo bombers to attack this target, I can use them to attack this target. So that's the key thing. So because this is a secondary target, it is a naval target, and it is a small target, which gives us one, and it gives us 1 fewer turn over target. So instead of 5, we would have 4. And that's target 32, which is located right here, which is a 2 stress. Now this one is target number 4, which is also a 2 stress target. It looks like it's on New Georgia. And the destroyers are out here in the slot. All right, so we'll talk about what we want to do here. Let me ditch my campaign map. Now, if we bring up our pilot ready room again, we can decide which pilots we want to use for this particular mission. So, I'll take Campbell. I'm going to put his counter below him for now. So he'll be the flight leader. And I'll take Consul. Because we have, how many bandits do we have again? 2 bandits. Okay, now for bombers, we'll bring Walker. I can only bring, I think, 5 aircraft, if I remember correctly. Yes, so that's 3. We'll bring Black Shoe Benson as our 5th. And there's the 4th. So let's do this. There. Benson. And we'll bring Pepe as our, whoops. I'll just do that for a moment. Let's move this here. So these are our pilots for our first mission, which will save us a little bit of guys for our second mission, some of them more skilled. So I didn't bring my green pilot, but I mean my newbie pilot rather, but I did bring 1 green, 2 average, 1 skilled, 1 veteran. So we want to start off with a bang here. All right. So we've drawn our target cards, we've selected our target, we've determined, now we have, oops, I assigned pilots before I drew my sights. So when you go to the chip pull, we want to draw 1, 2 sights. And 1 for the approach. So we'll put these guys in here. So yes, I did mess that up. I have to draw 1 sight for each of the approaches. So we'll draw east, which is no sight, south, and west. So this guy will go away. So we could just turn to the deck. And we're all set now with that. Now we have to pick our weapons. So if we expand this again, under markers you have your ordnance, and so you can pick what you want. Now here on the cards it tells you what they can carry. So our Wildcats can carry a 250-pound bomb or a drop tank. The bombers, of which we have 2, can carry a 250, a 500, or 1000. And they get a +1 for diving, and they start at high altitude. So I haven't placed them on here yet, but you can flip this for low altitude. So he's at low altitude now, and then high altitude here. And you can see on here, all of our sites are low altitude. Now, the aircraft have weight points that they can carry. So you can see here this number 1 indicates that this aircraft, the Wildcat, can carry 1 weight point. Now on the counters, our 500-pound bomb has 1 weight point. 250s are half, and as you might expect if you can do basic math, 1,000-pounders have 2, which can only be carried here by the Dauntless, which can carry 2 weight points. So you can see also that we have 5 or 6. If you roll a 5 or 6, that's a hit. That will do 1 point of damage. 7, 8, and 9 would do 2, and a 10 would do 3 points of damage. So that's the benefit of taking a 1,000-pound bomb. But you can only carry 1 per aircraft. 250s, on the other hand, have the S+1, which means that they get a die roll modifier of +1 on soft targets, and we know that this is a soft target. So we're going to give each of our aircraft, I'm going to give them 2 each. Each of our fighter aircraft, that is, will get 2 each. Then our 2 bombers will give big ones too. So they'll get, whoops. They'll get 1,000-pounder each. Because the 2-hit number here of 9 is hard to get, so this is going to be dicey. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to do this. I might have been better off taking more bombers, but we're going to roll with it and see how we do. So, as is the case with most leader games, the game itself is not easy. It is a challenge to balance everything that you need to actually get in there. And if you look at the air-to-ground numbers, right? So he's got a +2, but Console, for example, has a -2, but he's better at air-to-air. So you want a mixture of good air-to-air, air-to-ground typically. Benson, on the other hand, has an air-to-ground of +2. Walker has a +1. Ocampo is a -1. So that makes it really difficult for some of them to hit. Like he's going to need, basically, he's going to need a 10 because he's going to gain, maybe he can't hit at all. Let me think about this. So he rolled a 10, he'd have an 8, but you'd get a +1, so yes, that would be a 9. So he will need to roll 10s to actually hit. Whereas Campbell, with the +2 and the +1, only needs a 6. Because the 6 with the +3 will become a 9. So that's kind of the advantage there. So the next thing we would check here is gung-ho and situational awareness. Now you can see this SA here, that situational awareness, none of our pilots have that. None of them. But Campbell has 1 gung-ho, Consul has 1 gung-ho, Walker has 2 gung-ho. The other number we might be interested in talking about is this one right here, which is cool, which Campbell has 1, Walker has 2, Ocampo has 1, and that is that. All right. So now that we have armed our aircraft, we will draw our target bound event card. All right, so you start at the top. Oh, and I forgot to give them their gung-ho, but give 1 pilot 1 extra gung-ho counter. So let's move that there. Now if we right-click, we don't have a gung-ho marker. But you can see that you can do things on here. You know, increase situational awareness, etc., etc. What you can't do is get the gung-ho here. So he has 1. He has 1. He actually has 2. 2 on there. These guys do not have any. Okay, we drew our target bound event card. Now we're going to place our aircraft. So we'll take Campbell and we'll put him here with Benson. I'm going to approach from the east so I don't have to go through these areas that have enemies in them, or sites rather. And we'll send the other ones through. We'll send Consul and Walker in the middle. And Campo will come in from. We'll send him in here. I'll leave them all at high for now. Determine and place bandits. So let me collapse this again. We'll go to our chit pull. We get 2 bandits at the site. We just draw 2 of these. And we're supposed to actually. It says you're supposed to not see what they are, but I guess we're going to see what they are because it automatically flips them. Well, we only got 1 bandit. So that's good. So we can return him to the deck. So we only have 1 bandit to deal with. And it is an A6M2, that is the 0. Okay, so we'll put this on turn 1. Okay, fast pilots attack. We do not have any fast pilots, I'm pretty sure. Yep, everybody is slow. Unsurprising. So the bandits would then attack. Need to draw an event card. Almost forgot. Gain 1 SO point for each hit inflicted on the target. Alright, so we'll slide this down here to keep for the moment, so we can remember to do that. Alright, now we'll do fast movement, or rather bandit movement. Okay, so nobody can attack, so the next thing up is movement. So we're going to move. Okay, so here you see dive bombers dive to low. We're not ready to do that because we're not over the target. Fast pilots attack, they can't, we don't have any, and they couldn't anyway. Sights and bandits attack, we're not in range of any of the bandits or sights at the moment. So this would not apply either. Slow pilots attack. Again, we don't have anybody that can attack. Our aircraft moves, so we move all of our aircraft up. Then the bandits move. Okay, so our bandit is going to move into this area, but he does have to roll to decide who he's going to attack. So let me expand this a little bit and close that. And we rolled an 8. So I was just going to say there are 5, so it would be 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7, 8. So he's going to attack Walker. That actually is not. If we pull up our player aid and go to the bandits, you can see that it does say altitude, but for bombers, but for bandits, that's the skill rank. Okay, so he's L, which is a legend. So that would be the end of that turn. We advance the turn counter to turn 2. And we repeat the sequence. So the dive bombers are not going to die because we're not over the target. Fast pilots will attack. We don't have any. So now the sights and bandits can attack. So the bandit can attack Walker. So we get our dogfight helper out. So here's our bandit maneuvering. So we are currently neutral, and we roll 1d10, and we get a 9. And a 9 at neutral is in my sights. Okay, so I forgot about his +3 here. So he rolled a 9, +3 is 12, so he's going to be out of the sun. Okay, So that was his maneuver choice. Now his maneuver success will be his D10 roll plus his A to A, which is +3, plus minus the friendly A to A of Walker, who is a 0. So it's just his D10 plus 3. Roll again, and he got a 10, so that's a 13. So now he's got a +4 on his attack, so this is going to be bad for Walker. So now we do the attack resolution, so you get his D10 plus his air to air, which is 3, and then +4 on his attack roll will give him +7, because we know the friendly ATA for Walker is a 0. So this is going to be bad unless he rolls really low. Rolled a 7, so that would be an 11. That's 3 hits. You see 5, 7, 8 here. Okay, I kind of forgot, but what actually happens here is with the with it being higher than 8, that's 2 stress and a damage for Walker. So if we just remove this for the moment and go to Walker here. Oh wait, that's Benson. Walker's up here. Let's do this. Okay. You right click, you can put add damage and increase stress to 2. So he's okay from 0 to 3, but if he goes over that, then obviously he gets into the shaken status, which really hurts his numbers there. All right, so now that the bandit has attacked, we can go on to our attack. So we're going to have Campbell, or actually we'll have Consul, since he's a +2 air to air. We're going to have him attack the bandit here. Okay, so now we can pick what we want to do here. Let me slide this over for a minute. We know our bandit skill is a 3. Consul is a +2. So you can see down here, you get, for maneuver success, you get your die roll plus your ATA rating, which would be a 2 in this case, minus his, which is a 3. So we're going to take a -1 on our die roll, which means that you have to look here to figure out what maneuver you would like to attempt. And I'm thinking we'll try to go for a yo-yo. So we're going to try the yo-yo and hope we roll higher than a 6. There's a little bit of a risk to this, so let's see what we get. And we got a 10, so that's good. So that would be a 9 or higher because we do take a -1. So we get 2 positioning and a +1 on the attack. Okay. So if I move this back over here, let's put him here. So he would get a +2 positioning. Which would make him advantaged. So he gets +1 attack and a +1 for being advantaged. So we're going to roll our D10. Again, we'll get a -1 from this part, and we'll get a +2. So that adds out to a +1. And his attack number is an 8. So we need to roll a 7 or better. And we rolled a 10, which destroys the bandit. Now, because he's a legendary bandit, you can actually put him in the, in the legendary veteran kill area. And we can note in our notes here that Consul, I'll just call him Killer, So I'll keep that in mind for when we tally up our totals here afterwards. Now that that is done, we don't have any other attacks to do. I'm going to close that. We don't have any more bandits to deal with. So now we're going to move everybody into our target area. The aircraft have moved. We advance to turn number 3. And now we have dive bombers dive to low, so we will do that. Flip them. Fast pilot attack, we don't have that. Sights and bandits attack. Alright, so we have riflemen here. And they need a 6. And then over here we have the light machine gun that needs a 5 or a 10. So we will roll for our rifleman. Rolled a 6. So that would be, oh, we had to figure out who he was attacking. It's either going to be Benson or Walker. So we'll say that odd was Benson and even was Walker, which means it's Walker, which means he takes another stress. And he is now, he's still okay, but if he hits 4, he becomes shaken. So that's that one, and now this one will attack, and he needs a 5. Oh, he got a 2, so he doesn't hit anybody, thankfully. Oh, wait. Yeah, that would have been Walker. He was attacking, and he rolled an 8, which would be another stress on Walker, unfortunately. So that's 4. And now we go to our attacks. So we will have our, we'll start with Campbell. He's carrying 2 250s. So it occurs to me that I should have used my gung-ho on Walker because I could have avoided the damage, but I still have it. And for some reason, I don't see a gung-ho counter in the pieces, so that's why this is technically a skill. And why doesn't he have his? His is gone. Oh, it's probably under his card. Of course it is. So technically this is a skill. There's supposed to be like a yellow counter for gung-ho. But if you go to pieces, ordnance, it's not ordnance, it's not damage. Skill, maintenance, there's nothing in here for it that I can see. Yeah, and I didn't buy any skills either, which I could have, and I guess I chose not to. I didn't use any of my SO points, which was dumb. But yeah, we'll deal with our poor planning here. Anyway, just want to get through the mission at this point, and then maybe I'll start over with a different campaign and do something a little different. But anyway, we're going to attack with Campbell. Now, what you can use your gung-ho for is to make it a 10, make your die roll a 10. So if I chose to do that with him, that would enable me to ensure that one of my bombs hits, because it would be a 9. So let's roll the first one, and then we'll use the second one. Look at that, we rolled a 9. So that's a hit. So if we do this and we put in a damage, and then we'll use the gung-ho for the other one. So I'm going to do this, and we're going to say that that was a 10 as well. And we're going to increase the damage to 2 for Campbell. Then we've got, we'll do Ocampo next. He has a -1 air to ground, so he needs a 10, I guess. Well, actually, he needs a 9 because you get a +1 for the soft target. So we need a 9 First one, I think that was a 9. Yep, 2 9s in a row. So that is a hit. And then the second one is a 3, so that is not a hit. Whoops. All right. Move on to console here. He also has Gung Ho, but we'll not use that. So we're going to take our first one here, we're going to roll. He gets a -2, so he needs a 10. No, and no. So both of these are gone. Now we'll go to Walker. Now he has a +1. And he's dropping the big bomb, and this does not get the soft target modifier, so we're just going to roll. And we got a 4 plus 1 is a 5, and a 5 is 1 damage. So we take this, delete it. Now I could have again used the Gung Ho here, which would have given me multiple hits and would have destroyed the target. Because now I need to roll a 5, I guess, because he's got a +2 air to ground. So I need to roll a 5 or higher to destroy this target. And we got a 3, which is only a 1 damage. So we did not get enough damage. We are out of bombs. And now we would do aircraft move. Alright, so we will advance our turn marker to 4. We're going to have to get attacked by our sights again. So we'll start with our rifleman. We'll roll to see who he attacks. It's even, so he's going to attack Walker. He rolled a 6, which again is 1 more hit. This time I will use the Gung Ho to ignore it. Now we'll roll for the machine gun. He is going to attack Benson, and he rolls a 6, which is also 1 stress for Benson. So we will add stress for Benson. Now we get to attack. Now we're low. The low aircraft can attack with guns since we're out of bombs, and we only need 1 damage. So their gun rating is a 9. But they bracketed. I wonder if that means they can't do air to ground, because that would be the tail gunner. Let me check that. Oh. The rules don't specifically say you can't, so I'm going to play that you can. So we still need a 9. He's got a +1 air to ground, so what we'll need for him is an 8. We got a 2, so that's nothing. Benson has a +2, so he needs a 7. And gets a 9, which is the 6th level of damage, and we have now destroyed the target, and we can start moving now to go back home. And go to turn 5, and we head out. Now we'll draw our final event card, and I forgot, oh, we gain 1 SO point for each hit inflicted on the target. So we got 6 hits, that'll give us an extra 6 SO points. 6 SO, the event, 4 hits, 1 target. And I'm going to put this in the discard. Now we get keep this card. The next time a pilot suffers a damage result, they suffer +2 stress, then discard this card. Okay, keep that one. Can I flip these? I guess I can't. Alright. So that ends that mission, and then we will tally everything up and put it in our log, which I don't have here in electronic format at the moment, but I will put one together. So I know I screwed some stuff up here. It's been a while since I played this one. It's a lot more stripped down than some of the later ones. It's still a good game. So what I'm going to do, I think, is maybe start over and make sure I spend some of my SO points. Now I could still spend them on upgrades and things in between missions, but for now, I'm just going to wrap this up. I'll kind of think about what I want to do. Maybe I will continue this. We still have a second mission for today, but because of the length of the video, I'm going to cut it here. And then if I come back and continue this particular campaign, we'll do the second mission for it. So for now, that's going to do it. I do appreciate you guys taking time to watch. I hope you got something out of the video, even though I messed up here and there. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you would, please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing. If you are a subscriber, thank you as always for your support. Feel free to post any comments, thoughts, etc. And I'll do my best to reply. But for now, that will do it. This is the Hexed Encounter channel. My name is Joe. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.